Good morning, YouTube, BookTube. This is Johnny. I thought I'd make a video since it's quiet around the house. It's a Sunday morning here in West Michigan. It is September the 25th. It is 9:25 in the morning, and my wife has gone to church. My wife goes to the Presbyterian Church in America, a conservative evangelical church, Presbyterian, goes by the Westminster Standards, Calvinistic. So yeah, I was going to be ordained in the PCA after I finished my seminary education, and but I never got a call, so I never went into the gospel ministry, and I never joined the PCA because I'm not in agreement with their confession as far as covenant theology and sacraments, and so I don't go to church, even though I'm looking for a church. So as my habit is in the mornings, I'm writing in my diary. I'm on page 901 for the year 2022, and I'm drinking coffee. This morning, I'm reading the Reformation commentary on 2 Corinthians. I'm on chapter 11 through 1 through 15 in 2 Corinthians, and this is basically what this video is what I'm reading this week. I'm not doing a Monday reads, I'm doing a Sunday reads about what I'll be reading throughout the week, and things I read in the mornings, things I read throughout the day. When I'm not reading the Reformation commentary, yesterday I read the Denis and the Carthusians. This is the third volume of his projected 6th volume commentary on the Old Testament Psalms. And here, yesterday, I was on Psalm 57, verse 6. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens, and your glory above all the earth. That was where I last stopped. Yesterday, when I was reading this in the morning, I kept falling asleep. I could not stay awake, so I read to about 10:30 yesterday. Carol was gone in the morning, my wife. She went to our granddaughter's soccer game. She went to the grocery store, and she did something else. I think she went to Walgreens to pick up something. So I was reading this, but I'll be reading this throughout the week. I alternate. One day I'll read one, like tomorrow or Monday. Well, tomorrow I go to the Book Nook, the library used bookstore used, the libraries used bookstore, the Book Nook, and I usually don't read in the mornings, but I alternate. One morning I'll read this, next morning I'll read the Reformation commentary. And that's been my practice. Now, after I finish 2 Corinthians and the Psalms, I don't know what I'll read. I've been thinking I might go through the Gospel of Matthew or Paul's epistle to the Ephesians. I'm not really sure what I'll do. But I also read this in the morning sometimes, this commentary on the Psalms by George Horne. This is a Puritan, well, he wasn't a Puritan. This came out and published in 1771. This is a reprint. And I also read this when you're going through 2 Corinthians, second letter to the Corinthians. And I keep these as kind of like wanting to know more, where I got just interesting what they say. As far as what I'm going to be reading, as far as non-Christian, I started reading this novel, Cathedral, by Ben Hopkins. This is an Europia edition, Europia, and it's historical fiction. At the center of this story is the cathedral. Its construction in the 12th and 13th centuries in the town of Heidelberg unites a vast array of unforgettable characters whose fortunes are inseparable from the shifting political fractions, economic interests, and are vying for supremacy. The readers of historical fiction will delight at the atmosphere, the beautiful prose, and the vivid characters of Ben Hopkins' Cathedral. A novel that is rich with vicissitudes of mercantilism, politics, religion, and human enterprise. I don't know, it looked kind of interesting. I've read other books, more novels, historical fiction on the 12th and 13th century. And so I've been reading this, kind of a break from, I read this because I was taking a break from Last Times by Victor Serge. I'm almost done. I got maybe 2 chapters left in Victor Serge, The Last Times. Really enjoyed this. So I'm probably finished with this week, and I'll just stay with Cathedral. I did get another Victor Serge novel in the mail yesterday. The New York Review Books had a 30% sale off Victor Serge's novels. They know me. I'm sure it was all, they knew I've been buying them. But anyway, I got this one in the mail. The Case of Comrade Tulayev. You know, I looked this up at Google Translator, and I had it in my mind, and now my mind went blank. But it's the case of Comrade Tulayev by Victor Serge. One cold Moscow night, Comrade Tulayev, a high government official, is shot dead on the street, and the search for the killer begins. In this panoramic vision of the Soviet Great Terror, the investigation leads all over the world, netting a whole series of suspects whose only connection is their innocence, at least at the crime of which they stand accused. But the case of Comrade Tulayev sounds, it's Russian. I don't know. Unquestionably, the finest work of fiction ever written about the Stalinist purges is not just a story of totalitarian state marked by the deep humanity and generous spirit of the author, legendary anarchist and exile Victor Serge. It is also a classic 20th century tale of risk, adventure, and unexpectedly nobility set besides Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls. So anyway, I also got this out to reread last night. These, when Victor Serge was an anarchist, and this is his, Victor Serge wrote a lot of things besides novels. He wrote biographies, he wrote political works, and these are his works on anarchists never surrender, essays, polemics, and correspondence on anarchism, 1908 to 1938 by Victor Serge. This is translated by Mitchell Abdor. So yeah, I've read this before, and I just got out to read more his biographical information in his early days, Victor Serge. He was born in Belgium, and he was involved in the early 1900s with the anarchists there in France. I also going to read throughout, I'm still reading Jim Harrison's nonfiction from 1970 to 2015. He passed away recently, the writer and poet Jim Harrison. The Search for the Genuine Nonfiction, 1970 to 2015. Still reading this. They're very short. So I read this. I keep this by my reading chair in the living room. And I've been reading the short stories of Amy Hempel, the collected stories of Amy Hempel. Yeah, I've read almost half of this. So I read these. Well, usually I can't read something really heavy from about 1 in the afternoon until 5. And so I usually read something like a short story. Some of these short stories are only 2 pages. Some are more, some are 4 pages, but they're very short. And then I read this in the afternoons, Jim Harrison, something short. Usually I read something like this in the evening hours. I'm still reading Pisado's biography by Richard Zenith. I forgot to bring that up from the lower level. I'm still reading that. I'm almost done with The Last Times. And then I'll be reading throughout the week the historical novel Cathedral by Ben Hopkins. I got a couple books coming in the mail this week. I'll show those coming in. I had pre-ordered them a long time ago, and they're coming. I don't know when I'll start reading this. Maybe sometime in the winter. We'll see how it goes, and I always read in the mornings Denis and the Carthusian, the Psalms. Usually I read these books into the afternoons. Sometimes, like I said, I get really sleepy in the mornings. I'll read for 2 or 3 hours. Of course, I'm always writing in my diary throughout the day. And I'll take a break in the mornings and I'll meditate on what I've read, or I'll just let it just soak in my brain. I already got my diary for October ready. My wife, like I said, my wife's going to be gone. She leaves on the 4th of October for a 4-day, well, she'll be gone 5 days. She's going to a resort with 4 of her girlfriends, her old nursing friends. They do this every year. And then she leaves for Denver on the 15th to visit our daughter and her family for a week and a half from the 15th, and then she gets back on the 24th. So in October, I'll be kind of alone, but I can always be writing in my diary. I can always write in my diary. I can always talk to the birds, talk to spiders, talk to God. I can always make videos, talk to you guys in my videos, and I can read Jim Harrison's nonfiction, read Amy Hempel's flash stories. I can pray the prayers of William J. I read this also in the mornings lately. This came out in 1828. Prayers for the use of the families. I ordered this. I found out that this has been reprinted, and I ordered it yesterday with another book by William J. I hope I get in the mail maybe this week. And I can write in my diary. This September is almost done. Let me see, today's the 25th, tomorrow's the 26th, 27th. The 27th of September, I see my psychologist, my therapist. The 28th, 29th, and 30th. The next Saturday is the 1st of October. And then I'll be writing in my October 2022 diary and reading the Bible. Like I said, I ended on Psalm 57 yesterday. That was 57. Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me, for my soul trusts in you, and in the shadow of your wings I will make my refuge. Until these calamities have passed by, I will cry out to God Most High, to God who performs all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions. I lie among the sons of men, who set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongues a sharp sword. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have dug a pit before me. Into the midst of it they will themselves have fallen. My heart is steadfast, O God, and my heart is steadfast. I will sing and give praise. Awake, my glory. Awake, lute and harp. I will awake the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing to you among the nations. For your mercy reaches unto the heavens, and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. So with that, I will close. I hope you have a good reading week. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the new subscribers. And yeah, until next time, bye.